kunja vihari. Jai gopijana vallabha givaradhari. Yashodanandan brajayana ranjana. Yashodanandan brajayana ranjana. Yamuna tira vanachari. Yamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai gopijana vallabha givaradhari. Jai gopijana vallabha givaradhari. Yashodanandana brajayana ranjana. Yashodanandana brajayana ranjana. Yamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परवकछ अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन की सीध ऐसी भक्तों स्वामी प्रपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परवकछ अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन की सीध भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई महाराज की अनंत कोट वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की नामाचार हृदय ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ श्याम को राधा कृष्ण गोवर्धन की वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की निताय गौर पे बना दे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असम्बल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री श्री गुरु एंड गौरंगा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Today we shall study text number 3, chapter named Karma-yoga, from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Please repeat after me. Loke asmin dvi-vidhā. Hi. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. Loke asmin dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. loke asmin dvi-vidhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. loke asmin dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. Now you speak. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. loke asmin dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. loke asmin dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. loke asmin dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā. purā proktā mayā-anagha. jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ. karma-yogena yoginām. श्री-भगवान् उवाच लोके अस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता mayānagha jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ karma-yogena yoginām śrī-bhagavān uvāca loke अस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा purā proktā mayānagha jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ karma-yogena yoginām श्री-bhagavān uvāca loke अस्मिन् dvi-vidhā niṣṭhā purā proktā mayānagha jñāna-yogena sāṅkhyānāṁ karma-yogena yoginām. Hare Krishna. Now this word meaning. Śrī-bhagavān uvāca. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, loke, in the world, asmin, this, dvi-vidhā, two kinds of, niṣṭhā, faith, purā, formerly, proktā, were said, mayā, by me, anagha, O sinless one, jñāna-yogena, by linking process of knowledge, sāṅkhyānāṁ, of the empiric philosophers, karma-yogena, by linking process of devotion, yoginām, of the devotees. Translation is Divine Geshe Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation and others by devotional service. Please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize a self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation and others by devotional service. Purport by Divine Geshe Prabhupada ki. In the second chapter, verse 39, the Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sāṅkhyānāṁ and karma-yoga, or you can say Buddhi yoga. In this verse, the Lord explains the same more clearly. Sāṅkhyānāṁ, or the analytical study of the nature of the spirit and matter, is the subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness, as it is explained in the 61st verse of the second chapter. The Lord has explained also in the 39th verse that by working by the principle of Buddhi yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action, and furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. The same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse, that this Buddhi yoga is depend entirely on the Supreme. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Therefore, both the yogas are interdependent. as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment or sometimes fanaticism, while philosophy without religion is mental speculation. Ultimate goal is Krishna, because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth come in the end to Krishna consciousness. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita. The whole process is to understand the real position of the self in relation to the Supreme Self. The indirect process is philosophical speculation, by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness. And the other process is directly connecting everything with Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Of these two paths of the Krishna consciousness is better because it does not depend on purifying the senses by philosophical process. Krishna consciousness is itself the purifying process, and by the direct method or devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Om Ajnantrimanandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chachumilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurme Namah Sri Chaitanya Manuvishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Sapadantigan Vandeham Sri Guru Sitkalam Sri Guruna Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Svavdetam Savdutam Parjan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagandalta Vishaka Vintancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kant Radha Kanamastate Tapta Kanchen Gaurangi Radhe Vindavane Sri Vrishabhanasate Devi Pranamam Harpriye Vansha Kalparthu Bharish Kripa Sindhavacha Patitanam Pavnevo Vaishnadevo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashaji Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Here in this verse, I pray, you see, one has to understand the self actually. What is self? You know the self. Self means self. Understanding self means you have to understand yourself. You have to understand the insight of your heart actually. You have to look into the inside, your behavior, your attitude, strength, weakness, etc. It is the individual ability to say and know what he or what she is, whether he is good or bad actually, or he some needs improvement actually. Some are unsure, insecure about understanding the self. They do not know what they are actually. One cannot be successful in the life and not caring about the life. those who do not know themselves actually, what they are actually, how can they improve in the life actually? If you do not know the aim of the life actually, how can you reach the goal of the life? How can you select the path to reach the goal actually? So this is must actually. You have to see yourself inside actually. What are your weaknesses actually? This is must actually for successful life in Krishna consciousness actually. This self concept is how the individual perceives oneself actually. It is believed that individual holds about oneself. When someone asks himself, who I am actually? What is the purpose of my life in this world actually? If somebody asks actually this question to himself actually, he is moving towards the correct path. If he does not ask himself actually, it means he is entangled in the material life and continue to entangle in material life. He cannot get out of this material world actually. If one knows his weakness actually, then he can correct it actually. If he does not know the weakness actually, how it can be corrected actually. To know one's weakness is a very essential actually. Then we can choose the correct path to remove the weakness, to correct the weakness actually. Oh yeah. Here is that is Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. One should realize yourself actually. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation. Empirical philosophical speculation means by the process of Sāṅkhyānāṁ. And others by devotional service. These are the two things. And both these are interconnected actually. If one is successful in one path actually, he can achieve the result of other one actually. This is must actually. When we ask question actually, who am I? From where we have come actually? Where we are going actually? So in this connection actually, there is a verse in chapter number 2, that is 12. Na tu ev aham jatu nasam natam neme janadipa na cha eva na bhavishyama sarve payamata param. Never was there is a time when I did not exist. Nor you, nor all of these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This is very important actually, to understand it. We have been existed in the past actually. We are still existing. We shall continue to exist actually. Why we are so in the past, in present and in future? This is because we are entangled in this verse, birth after birth actually. There is no freedom from the birth, death, old age and disease actually. if you want to get free from this repeated birth, old age, and disease, then what you do? We have to accept the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or his representative, that is Guru. Then and only then we can stop this actually repeated birth and death actually. Otherwise we shall be continued in this physical world actually. Supreme Personality of Godhead is, by his plenary expansions, alive in the heart of every living entity. Soul and super soul, both are in our heart actually. Only saintly persons who can see without the same Supreme Lord can actually attain to perfect and eternal bliss actually. Saintly person means those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord actually. Those who are not engaged in the devotional service of the Lord actually, they cannot see themselves, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in their heart actually. This is the things you may feel only after engaging in the devotional service 24 hours a day actually. You have to fix your mind in the lotus field of the Lord Krishna actually, and nothing else actually. The Lord clearly said that actually all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings. This is very important actually. We soul are eternal actually, not temporary. We are eternal actually. And the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their conditioned and in their liberated state. These are things actually. When we are in the conditioned state here in the mystical world, and when we are liberated and we have joined that Golok Vrindavan Dham, even then the Lord is actually what is there? Is the maintainer. He is controller of all living entities actually, whether they are in the conditioned state or in the liberated state. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a supreme individual person. And Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associate, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they do not exist as individuals in the past. It is not that they will not remain eternal persons. They will continue to remain as eternal persons since from the past and up to the future actually. Because they are entangled in this physical world actually. They are conditioned actually. They have to come out from this conditioned world actually, this material world. Then they can be liberated actually. Their individuality exists in the past. Their individuality will continue in the future without interruptions. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. There is no doubt actually. This is this Sāṅkhyānāṁ philosophy actually, regarding the soul actually. This, what is the soul? They are eternal actually. This behavior like this. They are just actually giving up the body in birth, taking birth again and putting on another actually body, accepting another body depending upon their fruitive activities in the birth actually. We have to keep like this. If we do not want to keep like this, then we have to engage in the Krishna consciousness. We have to engage ourselves in the devotion to Lord Krishna. We have to engage in the karma-yoga, in the buddhi yoga actually. We have to connect our activities, all the activities, to the Krishna consciousness actually. Then and only then we can free and liberate from this material world actually. The Prabhupada has discussed in this purport the text number 39 of chapter number 2. Esha tyaveta sāṅkhe buddhi yoge tu imam shunam buddhya yukto yaya partha karmanda prahasasi. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of the work. Analytical statement, the description of soul in detail actually. The Lord has explained right from the text number 11 up to text number 30. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yoganam jara tata dehantaram praptam dhiritatrana muhati. As the emerited soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A self-life soul is not bewildered by such a change actually. Every living entity is an individual soul. Every. Whether he is a man, a bird, or animal, or reptile, or anything, aquatic, sagara. Each is changing his body every moment. Manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as youth, and sometimes as an old man. And yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body of the at death actually, and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation. No cause for lamentation means this is fixed actually. One has to be ready actually for this purpose. Ready means we have to keep ourselves ready actually to change this process, to avoid the repeated birth, death, old age and disease actually. By engaging ourselves in the Krishna conscious job actually, Krishna conscious work actually. We have to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So this is must actually. Avinashi tu tatavidya enam sarvam idam tatam vinasam abhyam asya na kaschit kartum arhati. Know that which pervades the entire body is indestructible, means the soul. The soul pervades the entire body. How you feel it? By feeling that we are feeling consciousness. How you feel the presence of the soul? By feeling consciousness actually. When there is no consciousness, it means that body is dead actually. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. Nobody. This is the quality of the soul actually. The real nature of the soul is that this verse actually. Which is, what is the real nature? It is spreads all over the body actually. Anyone can understand that what is spread all over the body actually. But those who are ignorant actually, they do not know actually. They enjoy anything actually, do not know what is soul, what is body, what is not, what is that actually. They are under the bodily conception of the life actually. They have no spiritual idea. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasure of the body in part or as a whole actually. Sometimes you feel pain, headache, sometimes you feel pain in your waist actually. Sometimes pain in the leg actually. Or sometimes you feel pain in the entire body. Sometimes you feel fever actually. Your body is heat up actually. You feel it actually. This is because of the presence of the soul in our heart actually. Spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. It does not happen actually because your consciousness is go to the another body. No, it is not like that. Pains and pleasure of the body are unknown to other actually. You see, when somebody is admitted in the hospital, actually, he is feeling pains and during his bed he is feeling very uncomfortable actually. The others are enjoying pleasure actually. You see this actually? It is happens or not happens? It is happens. It is fact actually. Each and everybody is the embodiment of the individual soul. Embodiment means each and everybody is an embodiment of the individual soul. What is meaning by this? Embodiment means covering. This body is a covering of that actually, no? Soul actually. Embodiment means this actually. And the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. That already explained about. The soul is described as 10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair and point in size. Antavat ime deha nitya sukta sarina anasino aprameyasya tasmat yudyasya bharata. Only the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is subject to destruction. What is the body? This body of the eternal soul. There is a soul in each and every body. The body, soul is inside your heart actually. And the heart is a part of your body. And that body is destructible actually. Therefore, O descendant of Bharata, fight. material body is perishable by nature. Perishable by destruction actually. If you don't commit any body actually, or you don't be burned actually, this actually, even then it will be destructed actually. It will go on disintegration actually. This is a phenomenon actually. For our safe environment actually, what we do? We just go and burn the body actually. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years actually. It is a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it indefinitely actually. When the body is dead actually, you cannot maintain it indefinitely actually. It will be perished actually. But the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot even be seen by an enemy actually. To say nothing being killed, as mentioned in the previous verse, it is so small that no one can have any idea how to measure its dimension actually. When you cannot measure its dimension, you cannot be seen actually how one can kill it. You cannot kill it. Nainam chindanti satrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kiryanti apo, na shushyati marutaha. The soul can never be cut to pieces actually, by any weapon actually, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind actually. When it cannot be seen actually, you cannot able to measure the dimension actually, so how one can kill it actually? You cannot apply any weapon actually. You cannot apply fire to it, to burn it actually. It is not visible. It is very difficult actually. All kinds of weapons, flames, rains, tornadoes, etc. are unable to kill the spirit soul actually. The soul is eternal actually. Nobody is able to destroy the soul actually. This is the phenomenon actually. Jātasahi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mrityasya cha, tasmat aparhāra arthe, nātam sochitam arhasi. For one who has taken birth, the death is certain actually. And for one who is dead, birth is certain actually. Therefore, in the unavoidable circumstance of your duty, you should not lament actually. Lament for what? The Arjuna was lamenting for his kinsmen actually. His Dronacharya, Bhishma, his brothers, his other active family members actually. If you know this phenomena, then what is there? You are ready to bear anything actually. If someone happens actually, someone died actually, so what is there? You are ready, this has to be happened actually. But someone do not know actually whether one has to die or not die actually, then definitely he will be under distress actually. He will lament definitely actually. This is must actually. One has to take birth according to one's activity of the life. And after finishing one's terms of activity, one has to die. And one has to die to take birth for the next actually. In this way, the cycle of birth and death does not support unnecessary murder actually, slaughter and war actually. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping the law and order actually. This war actually, between the Kauravas and Pandavas actually, what was the actually? This was a war between the religion and non-religion actually. Truth and untruth actually. Honest and dishonesty actually. The war is a must actually. It is must actually. ऐसा त्यविता सांगे बुद्धि योग तो इमाम सुनो बुद्धिया युक्तो या पार्थ कर्म बंधम प्रहससि. What is Sankhya actually? Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya means that which describe the phenomena in detail actually. This Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describe the real nature of the soul actually. Just actually we have described the real nature of the soul actually by different texts actually. That is the real nature of the soul actually. And yoga involved in controlling the senses actually. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on the sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom by conquering his cousins and brothers. In both ways, the basic principle were for the sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both on the same basis of personal sense gratification. For there is a sacrifice of wisdom actually. When you do not do your duty actually, when Arjuna does not want to his duty as a Kshatriya, it means this is a sacrifice of your wisdom actually. One should not avoid his duty actually. One has to do his duty actually. This is must actually. So Krishna wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individual in the past, they were individual in the present, and they will continue to remain individual in the future because all of us are individual soul eternally. All are eternally individual soul. Whether in the conditioned state or in the liberated state actually. But actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Krishna. That explained from text number 11 to 30 in chapter number 2. And this description knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of the vision has been described here as Sāṅkh in terms of Nirukta dictionary. So this is the regarding the soul and super soul. Hare Krishna, I think I stop here, Tiarakli. If any questions from any corner, you can ask, please. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.